There we go. Now you can hear us.
Are you sure you want to?
They definitely do.
Is the question.
We're so glad to be here today. We are Tiff and Jack. We would love to have you share with us who you are, not who you are. I mean, we can see most of you. If you give StreamYard permission to see your name, then we can too. But if not, share where you're calling in from, because we always love to know. It's really awesome. Sue, Laurie, Bev, Mary,
Hello.
June. So glad that you're all here. We're Tiff and Jack, and our favorite thing in the world is to coach empaths. Coach and educate empaths into true self-alignment. The reason we love to do that,
that's so true.
The reason we love to do that is it gives you more empowerment, more purpose, more prosperity. And that's what it's all about.
Right. And you feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, you do.
Physically.
Yeah, you do. And that's why we are here with you, joining you on the Energized Empath live show. And also to a big shout out to all of our Tiff and Jack Show podcast listeners. That's all happening right now. Hey, Kate, we have Sue here from England, Laurie from Sandy. Hi, Annie. Oh, I'd love to have everyone here. It's so fun.
Gettysburg.
So fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I hear that it was a very cool 60 degrees Fahrenheit in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
I'd like to hear from those that live in Gettysburg. Is it kind of spooky at night there? I would guess because of all the events that have happened in Gettysburg that it's a little spooky. There's some ghost activity there. I know it.
Okay, you keep talking because I don't have our microphone plugged in.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
I guess everyone can hear us, right?
Keep chatting it up.
So you guys get to do the test with us. What it sounds like when we're just doing the computer speaker, and then we're going to plug in our awesome speaker that's supposed to make everything sound better, and you get to tell us. So, okay, so Bev says it's very spooky at night for sure. So Bev, what makes it feel spooky? Do people see things, or is it just a vibe? Because I'm super interested. I'm sure we'll come visit.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Both.
There, you got it. It's on.
It's on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so everyone, does this sound better than what you were hearing? I'd like to know, because I just never know what it sounds like before and after. How come it looks like my head is 5 times bigger than yours?
Because you're a foot closer than me.
Hi, everyone.
So Bev says a lot of people have seen things at night, especially when Bev has, when I walk the battlefield, I feel it for sure.
Oh, yeah. No question.
I bet. That is.
Yeah, because when there's death, especially traumatic death, because we live here in Utah, and there is lots of Indian blood on the land here. And, oh, man, when I drive through specific places, when we travel through Utah, woo, I can feel it, and we got to get out of there. I'm just like, the feeling is so heavy for me that it's like, oh, my gosh, I got to get out of here.
And then on the flip side, go ahead. Were you going to keep talking about it?
Yeah.
I was going to say on the flip side of the heavy, when you're feeling energy, I mean, we're talking to a whole bunch of empaths today. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This morning, Tiff and I got up really bright and early, probably 5:30 this morning, and went and drove in a really beautiful place with really big, gorgeous trees. And there is a place that guaranteed, like Tiff says, there is a vortex there. Do you know what a vortex is?
It's a light portal or a doorway where higher vibrational energy travels through. Where does it come from? We know not, but we do know that vortexes exist. You've heard of Sedona in Arizona. There's a lot of vortexes there that are marked so that you can go and stand in them. There's one when I travel through one of the cities here in Utah that I said, I woke up at 5:20 this morning and I said, hey, let's get in the car and drive down. And because I want you to feel this feeling. So we drove and I had Jack stop the car and we turned off the car and he's like, wow. And it just is this feeling that, if you just sit there and close your eyes, it's just this healing energy that would move through your body. And so I actually When I'm up really early, I go and drive and just kind of sit there and do that often. It's really amazing.
Awesome.
So there you have it.
Okay, so today, what we're going to be talking about today as we move in, I don't know if we're quite ready. We always have to kind of shoot the shit at the beginning because it's fun. It feels good to just chat with y'all. But today's topic is all about helping other people understand you as an empath. Because 80% of the planet is not as sensitive as you are.
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk about that, so don't.
Yeah, I'm not going
much.
to talk about that. But a whole bunch of people in this world literally don't get it. They don't understand the way that you are. So there's a lot of splaining to do. Right? There's a lot of splaining to do.
Are you going to do mansplaining?
No, that's not what this is about. So today, that's where we're going with today's topic. Is going to be a lot of fun. As we always say, we love to have you engage. That's part of the reason we really love the live format, doing a video and at the same time recording for our audio for our podcast so that we can have this kind of engagement because it makes it really fun for us. When we can see you, we can see your questions. We invite you, if you need a little further clarification or maybe you have a couple questions as we're teaching, ask. We'll be able to see it and answer your questions along the way,
yes.
Which makes this just so enjoyable. And one other little tiny piece of business for any of you that are listening prior to June 26, 2021, we have an amazing Past Lives class coming up at 11 o'clock a.m. on Saturday, June 26th, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is equal to 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 o'clock noon Central,
wow.
and 6 p.m.
Wow.
London. Australia is the next day, probably around 3 or 4 in the morning. Not sure, but
yes,
definitely figure it out. We would love to have you there. So if you're interested, it's a free masterclass that we're presenting, like I said, in the Connected Empath Facebook group. If you're not a member of our free Connected Empath Facebook group, come join us because that's how you can be there for the class when we present it live. We'd love to have you there.
So here's a little tidbit from that class. This dimension that we're all living in here, where we are, you and me, this is the only dimension where time exists. So really time doesn't exist. So just think about this. Here's a brain bender. In a past life, wherever you were, say 500 years ago, because there's no time, it's actually happening right now. So if you want to know more about that and understand it deeper and how you can connect to your different pieces of yourself, this is definitely the class to come to because I'm going to be going deep into explaining past lives. So many people have questions about it. And being a past life regressionist and rewriter, I'm going to tell you what that is because many people haven't heard of that. It's a really fun and amazing topic, and the information is very powerful. It helps you live as a more empowered empath. And empaths are the ones that love to talk about all the mystical stuff because they're the magic people, right?
Okay, someone said where? It's in our Connected Empath Facebook group. We'll be streaming live right into our Facebook group called the Connected Empath. If you're not a member of the group and you are a highly sensitive person /empath, come join the group. Ask to join. You'll be brought right into the group. And then Saturday, like I said, at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, we're doing the past life class. You don't want to miss it.
I love talking about the magical things of life that we can't see. So whether it's being a psychic medium and that topic, or angels and demons, that topic, or past lives, or healing work, or different modalities, I absolutely love talking about it. It's been the study of my life. I was very gifted when I was born, so I had to learn how to utilize all these gifts and use them well, so I stayed well. And I absolutely love talking about it. I remember as a teenager sitting with people and we were all in a circle and I'm talking about all the things that I see. And it was just you could feel the excitement in the room because everybody knows, everybody can feel that there's so much more than we see with our eyeballs. And so the topic of the mystical realm and all things that you can't see is my bag of everything. I just love it.
Yeah, and
it's so fun.
I love being married to this amazing gift. gift of deliciousness, excitement. We have things that get moved around our house, some pictures thrown off the wall. And, it's just a really exciting life
well, when
here.
you're a psychic medium, you kind of have a different vibration. And then when the unseen notices, they're like,
Ooh, this is exciting. And not only is it exciting to be married to Tiff for all those reasons of the mystical, magical world, but I get to come home to the best mac and cheese bites from Trader Joe's. And when she baked them, they were totally bland.
And gross. They were nasty.
When I ate them, they were spectacular.
Okay, I'm going to give y'all a secret. They're in the frozen section at Trader Joe's is the mac and cheese bites. And I just thought I'd try them out because I always like to go. Every Thursday I go. Today's my day to go. I'm so excited. And I go by myself because I just like to look around and try new things. So I get these mac and cheese bites. I look at them out of the oven. I'm like, they look amazing. I taste them. The texture is crunchy on the outside, super moist and cheesy on the inside. Zero flavor. I was so mad. I was like, oh, I want these to be good. So I'm the kind of person that takes a bite of something. I'm like, maybe I'm mistaken. I'll take another bite. Still isn't good. And I'm like, this has to be good. I just know it's going to be good. I take another bite and eat 2 or 3 of them before I realize knock it off. They taste yucky. And I hope Trader Joe's doesn't sue me now because I said they're yucky.
That's
anyway,
just your personal opinion.
It's my personal opinion. I'm not saying anything. Maybe you'll love them. If you do, well, okay. Anyway, I also tried this honey spicy. It's just honey that's been flavored with chili peppers. So it's really spicy honey. So I squeezed the honey on the top, and then I did this amazing kosher salt that it's the only salt I use when I cook in the kitchen. And I sprinkled that on the top, and it's probably one of the most spectacular hors d'oeuvres at this point ever. And so Jack came home, he's like, these are amazing. And I'm like, let me tell you the story about these cheese bites.
See, life is so magical here. It's just so magical.
I'm a kitchen
You never
witch,
know what you're going to get. Just it'll be delicious or exciting or scary. One of those 3. One of those 3.
The joys. Okay, so typically what we do before we get into the nitty gritty of the lesson in the live today is we ask a couple of questions. So I'd like you to answer the question and also write them down, because as you're trying to connect with people, one of the best ways to do that is to ask questions. So we always do table topics, do it yourself therapy, and Jack and I take turns answering the question. But now that this is live and we're having interaction, you get to answer as well.
I love this.
Which I love reading all of your answers. It's so fun. So we have 2 questions and it's your turn. Are you ready?
For me to answer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you don't know what the questions are because I sneak them in. Okay, the first question is, go ahead and write this down, my friends, so you can ask the people that you love just to get to know them better. Okay. What embarrasses you instantly?
Oh my God. I have been a notorious blusher. All of my life would blush about everything. And the minute you feel your blushing rising up to the surface, you're that much more embarrassed. So what makes me blush?
Instantly blush.
Oh, it's been a long, hard life for this introvert. Okay.
Honey, I'm so sorry.
A long, hard life. I have had to adjust and get a thick skin, let me tell you, so I could be okay with all the notoriety and public visibility. Being in the life that we're in now, I've really grown so much more accustomed to it, but it's been a rough road getting here.
I bet it's been really hard to be married to me.
I used to feel so embarrassed when I'd open a present. Don't ask me why, but now I really love it. Father's Day was so great. I loved it.
What was your favorite gift on the top?
I'm not saying that. I would never say that. Not ever in a million years. Never.
That was such a stupid question I asked.
Know. That really was, because there are no favorites. There are no favorites. Okay, none. So honestly, for me, what was the question?
What embarrasses you immediately?
Well, it really used to be that. I really don't like it when we're talking with a group and you start focusing all the attention on me specifically.
It's hard for me not to. It's super hard.
And it makes me feel very awkward, quite honestly, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and I have gotten better at not doing that.
Kate, I'm so glad that we are aligned with our feelings.
Kate, you're so sweet.
Of embarrassment.
Yeah, I really try. I talk about Jack a lot because I think he's such a spectacular human. I'm so madly in love with him. And see that I'm doing it right now. Are you feeling embarrassed?
Stop.
Do you feel embarrassed?
Kind of.
See,
I just started
it's just
distracting
weird.
myself on the comments.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks.
Sue said, if I see an attractive man and feel the attraction, I get embarrassed.
No,
that's
kidding.
Really adorable.
I love it.
Yeah, that
Thank
is
you
adorable.
for sharing. I bet some people can relate to that. I think someone else shared that with me recently.
Come on, you guys.
What
share.
is the first thing embarrasses you? We have 29 viewers right now. So let's hear it. Okay, we're going to move to the next question while you're sharing. Okay. The next question is, what song do you play the most on your playlist?
None. I don't replay songs very often.
Well, that's not my story.
The one song that stands out from my high school, up through high school, that I just loved is from Yaz. What's it called? You and Me Both.
Is that the one that we hear and you sing and cry?
I love it.
You sing and cry.
Now I'm getting really embarrassed.
Are you?
Oh, Laurie, when the attention gets zoomed in on me, right? I'm telling you.
I know.
I'm telling you.
And I think I have a hard time relating because I don't know if I think I've been embarrassed one time in my life. Even if I fall down or whatever, I don't feel embarrassed. It's weird.
That's amazing.
Remember when we were in TJ Maxx?
Oh, she hit the ground so hard. She was trying to we were trying to do something and you tried to prop yourself up on a center display. It started to roll and it was covered in paintings and photographs.
And they were all falling on my head and I'm going like this.
On the ground, covering herself up to not be cut to death by all the craziness.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to help her up and she's like, just stop. And you got up and just walked out.
I'm like, I don't need help. I just need you to because Jack, of course, was freaking out because all the pictures were falling on my head and I was going like this. And when it was done and I was on the ground, I noticed that I didn't feel embarrassed. And I thought, why don't I feel embarrassed? Because people are going like this. And I just thought, okay, I got to get up and just get out of here because
it wasn't a feeling of embarrassment.
No, I felt super drained though because it scared me. I was just like, oh, I got to go sit in the car. But as I was walking out, I actually noticed I didn't have any embarrassment.
You're just an anomaly, I think.
What? Well, maybe. I don't know.
Kate's in awe of you. Me too, Kate.
You're in awe?
I am totally.
That's probably why I'm so damn sassy and I say whatever I want on social media and I don't worry too much about it because I don't feel embarrassed.
That's right. Handled it like a queen.
Handled it like a queen.
And
don't fall on my head.
Kate, do you blush? Or is it just me that blushes? Do any of you blush? Maybe I really am just my own person.
Well, of course you are.
I need to know. I need to feel the love. Let me know if you're
and
a blusher.
I would like to know your number one song played on your playlist. Mine is Foreigner, Urgent. This last 6 months, I probably listened to it 500 times. I have no idea why. I listened to it today, twice. When I'm in a really good mood and I'm very energized, I turn it on and blast it. I love Foreigner. Okay, what do we got here?
Oh, okay. Annie says she blushes when she thinks she sounds like an idiot.
That's so cute.
Oh, Mary, I turn as red as a tomato.
Oh, guys.
Kate, heck yes. I almost turned purple. I blush. Isn't it horrible? And the minute you feel the blush rising up, you can feel the heat pushing up in your face. And there's no stopping it. The worst is when you're standing up in front of people in a teaching or an audience and you feel the blush coming on. And you just have to stand there and blush. It just is what it is.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Foo Fighters, Best of You.
Nice.
Laurie.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Either Bon Jovi or Lady Gaga.
Oh, I love Lady Gaga. I love Bon Jovi too.
Wardruna on constant repeat. If I could put time in a bottle, Jim Croce.
Ooh, that's a great song.
Yeah. Fear, Blue October.
Nice.
Kate, The Dreaded Heat, My Neck and Face on Fire. I love that song. I'm with you on that one. I play it on repeat. Dancing Queen by ABBA. That's got to be Belinda.
Song.
I think that's Belinda.
Belinda, that's so cute. Oh, you guys, thank you for sharing. This is always a fun topic, these questions, because I really do love to hear people's experiences. It's just amazing. Anything ABBA is awesome.
It's got to be Belinda.
Totally. Okay, we're going to talk about your sensitivity as an empath. And this is such an important topic. And we hear from many students and clients, how do I share that with people that don't understand about being an empath? How do I share with them that I'm an empath? Because they're so afraid of being rejected. So we're going to talk about it a little bit to give you more information and make you, to help you feel a little more empowered to be able to speak up for yourself. You know, the world is not conditioned to be, what is the word? To be complementary to our sensitivity. Because about 80% of the world is not highly sensitive. Only 20%. So we are a minority, but we're very powerful healers. And in order to really live well during this life experience of ours as being a highly sensitive person, as being an empath, we have to really understand what it means to be that. And then the people that we really love, they need to know. And sometimes we've tried to tell them. And how many times, okay, here's a question. How many times have you been told you're just being too sensitive? How many of you, and I really want to hear this.
I really do too.
Were you ever told you were too sensitive?
Oh, no, I was only told that I would start crying and never stop. Don't make Jack cry because he'll never stop.
Okay. And I wonder why you weren't told that.
Probably because I'm not a full-blown empath. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Pauline, for sure.
Yep.
Sue, a few times.
Yep.
Annie, oh, if I hear that shit one more time.
Right.
You're going to punch someone.
Yeah, a million times. Yes.
It was a zillion.
A zillion.
A zillion.
And things like you're too extreme or you're too much. You're too emotional. Why are you acting this way? Just buck up. Stop being such a baby. These types of things. This is so common for us as brothers and sisters in the empath realm. And there are people that dismiss it completely, like that is not real.
Kate's mom said, "You're so sensitive. What did I ever do to you?"
Oh gosh, boy. Kate. That's terrible.
That'll give you some hefty
right?
tracks. I was told that all the time. You need to not take things too personally.
Right.
Toughen up.
Yep, toughen up. Pull up your bootstraps.
Extra. That's got to be bad.
Yeah.
Too emotional. All my life, hearing it always.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about. And that's why we're here talking about this, because you get to feel right.
Yes.
Because you are.
Yeah, because nothing is wrong with you, my friends. Nothing is wrong with you. And I guarantee you, by hearing this all the time, you've had this feeling that something's wrong with me and I'm broken. How many of you have said in your own mind, I am wrong, or I am broken? Something's wrong with me, or I'm broken. How many?
Mary says you wear your heart on your sleeve is another phrase.
Oh, yeah.
Heather, too much.
Like that's a negative thing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Annie, my husband, likes to say not everything is a stab or a shot at you.
Right.
Lisa, very much not want to base things by how I feel.
Sure.
Laurie said, thank you. You're welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Right. Okay, my friends. So we're going to talk about this because it's important for you to really accept who you are and what an empath is. So that's number one. You must understand what it means to be an empath. What does that actually mean? So I'm going to tell you, and you've probably heard me say this before, and if you haven't, that this is really important information, but it's also a good reminder for those that have. Your brain works differently, and it's been scientifically proven, okay? So here's the deal. People that are more spiritually minded have a way easier time accepting the understanding about highly sensitive people or empaths, right? It's part of the spiritual realm. It doesn't seem that far-fetched, but it's the really logical people that are like, that's not real. And so, and I am a science buff. Like I'm a science nerd, and I'm also highly spiritual, and I'm also an empath. So I discounted my empathness, that I was an empath, all of my life until just shortly a few years ago. And I refused to even talk about it.
And one of the big problems with discounting your sensitive or your empath self is then you're going to be highly treated or medicated or,
Yes.
constantly looking for what's wrong.
Right.
And that's why this conversation is critical, so that you can begin to get a really solid foundation where this is not wrong.
Right.
This is right about you and is different than 80% of other people.
So it has been because of the glorious, gifted Dr. Elaine Aron. She is a scientist that was studying the highly sensitive person. And they did brain scans, and they found that the mirror neurons of the brain are more active than literally 80% of the world. Now, if you don't know what your mirror neurons are, the mirror neurons are the neurons in the brain that are where you have empathy, where you experience empathy in the brain. And they call it overactive mirror neurons. I say highly active because I don't think it's overdone. I just think that we feel and experience everything more. So it's just more active than 80% of the people around you. And so that means you experience everything to the deepest level. And that's the HSP. All empaths are HSP. But not all HSP, highly sensitive people, are empaths. There's one difference. The difference of the empath is that you literally absorb other people's feelings or emotions into your body, into your muscles, tissues, and organs. So you will experience those things as though they're your own emotions. And this gets a little tricky for us empaths because we're like, is this my feeling or someone else's feeling? And I think that was the last class that we just did last week. And so you're all HSP. And only 20% of the world is HSP. So once you know this and you know that there's science to back you up, you can look on YouTube, Dr. Elaine Aron, about being a highly sensitive person. You can look up all the information you want, and she will be talking about that and the science behind it, which I'm so grateful because I love to offer science and the spiritual stuff. So both sides of the brain, I can talk to both sides of your brain, the left and the right side. And if you know this about yourself, that this is scientifically proven, this is not just that you need to pull up your bootstraps. This is a real deal.
And Shardy said, I had to explain at the weekend why I felt rubbish after going to the supermarket and forgetting to protect first. First time I've ever explained being an empath to anyone.
Wow.
So this is so on point for me.
I'm so glad you're here. My goodness.
Definitely.
Okay, so once you understand that being an empath, that it's scientifically proven that you feel and experience everything deeper and that you are absorbing energy into your body, that means you have to rest more. You have to shield. You have to clear your energy when it gets overloaded. There are many things that you have to do to live well as an empath. If you want to live like the 80%ers, I'm sorry, it's not an option. We try. I know you've tried. I know I tried most of my life to just push it off and say, oh, it's nothing. I don't know why I feel so fatigued. I don't know why I feel sick to my stomach. I don't know why I'm crying right now. There's no reason to cry. There were so many things that I just could never, ever answer. And I just refused to see it as a real thing of being an empath. And it was the science that really helped me. So I'm one of the ones that oftentimes likes to hear and see the science behind things and not just believe because I could feel something. So that's why we offer science. That's why I do a lot of the spiritual work and Jack does the mindset work, because we're coming from both angles so that everything is covered. So now that you know this, the next step, number 2, is to accept it. It doesn't mean you have to absolutely love and cherish being an empath every single moment of every single day. Sometimes we just think it sucks and we don't want to do it anymore and there's no way out of it. Okay, but accepting something means is that this is what it is, and I'm going to take what this is and I'm going to make the best of it. So once you know what it is, then you have to accept, right? Was it hard for you to accept you're a highly sensitive person? It was super hard for me to accept I was an empath. It probably took me 2 years of like throwing a stink fit and being depressed. Because I was like, this means I'm never going to be okay, which is not the truth. I just had to learn how to work with my energy and create a life that is conducive to my sensitivity. So accepting is not always just the simple thing, but that's, if you haven't accepted it yet, this is where you can start so that you can begin to share who you are with the people you really care about. And I asked you, was it hard?
Yeah, no, I didn't feel, but I know it was hard for you. I know it was.
To accept that you were HSP?
No, to accept that you were.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. No, it wasn't too hard because I had already accepted that I blush all the time and that I cry easily. I cry over love.
You do.
24/7. And I had already really accepted that about myself. I like that part of me. So, but I'm not a full-blown empath, and I haven't been dealing with the huge amounts of energy flux that you've been managing for your whole life.
One thing that I think is really great is being an empath and having an HSP husband. He's very understanding and very nurturing of my energy because of his sensitivity. He does not absorb energy. I'm happy that you don't, because it just makes life a little trickier. But he's been very, very kind, and oftentimes empaths will find at HSP friends or companions. I mean, most of the time we talk about, how the empath attracts the narcissist, but that's not always the case. Oftentimes we'll attract people that are HSP or other empaths. The empath and the HSP do typically well together because they understand each other, and the HSP partner does not absorb the energy of the empath. That being said, the empath does absorb, if they're not watchful, the emotions from their partner, and that's why we have designed a life that's very conducive for both of us.
Yeah. We've designed our work schedules so Tiff can manage her energy and have her second sleep in the morning, because she wakes up at 3:30 in the morning so often.
Yeah, most
and
of the
then
time.
She'll have a second sleep, and then she starts seeing her clients early afternoon, and I see my clients in the morning. And by 9 at night, I'm totally toast because I sleep all night for 8 hours, and then I wake up early and go to work. And
I'm awake and ready to play.
She's awake and ready to play. But it's really awesome to be able to adjust our lives. And I was just noticing that Pauline shared, I have 2 lives, but I'm starting to share more and more, which means I'm sure many of you have had to hide or downplay your sensitivity because of the negativity coming at you for it. So Pauline, I'm really glad that you shared that. And I would like to encourage each of you to look at yourselves in your own life and begin to identify where you can come out a little bit more. And Tiff's going to keep teaching how you can do that and make it easier.
Okay, so we've talked about, you must understand what being an empath or a highly sensitive person means, what that is, accepting it. And number 3 is realizing you don't have to tell everyone. Okay, this doesn't mean, okay, now you've taken this live class and now you have to go tell the world. That's not what we're saying. You don't have to tell everyone. You're going to want to tell the people that are closest to you, that understand you. You don't always have to tell coworkers. You don't always have to tell friends. It just depends on who knows you the most. And you'll be able to tell. You'll be able to definitely tell the people that you need to tell. Okay, but you don't have to tell everyone. So that's important to know. Number 4, when you decide to tell someone, it's important for you to realize that there is a risk that they will not believe you or support you. And I wish I could say, we're going to give you a way to tell them where everyone's going to think that you are brilliant, because you are. And I can't do that. That's impossible. But I want you to know that there is a risk that someone may not believe you or support your sensitivity. And that is okay. Okay? The people that are the closest to you, those are the ones that matter the most. And if they don't believe or support you, it's important that you both come to a place of understanding of each other's beliefs about this and to respect those beliefs. It's just as important for you to have your belief about you being an empath respected just as much as if they don't support it or believe that it's possible for you to say, I respect that. But our job here today is to kind of lay out the facts for you so that, in little bits and pieces, so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. One thing I do want to address is if you are seeing a therapist and you know that you're an empath, but they don't believe in empaths, get rid of the therapist. Get rid of them and find one that does. There are many therapists that know.
Do. Yeah, there are many therapists that do.
And I'm super blunt about that, because when you're going in to do your inner work, it is important for you to feel safe and to be who you authentically are. If you have to go into a therapist and pretend that that you're not an empath, it is not going to help you. It's going to cause more problems than you already feel like you have. So if you have a therapist that doesn't believe them, you need to release them and find one that does. And the universe can help you find the perfect person. Yeah. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Always remember that you deserve to be heard, listened to, and validated. I'm going to say this again, because oftentimes we don't feel heard, we do not feel listened to, and we do not feel validated. How many of you have felt that way? But I want you to know you deserve, just by being you, to be heard, listened to, and validated. And I'm here today, Jack is here today to hear you. That's why we're asking you questions. We want to hear what you have to say. We're listening to you, and we're validating your value, your importance, who you are. We are here to do that. And that's also why we've created the Connected Empath page, so that you have a place to be heard, listened to, and validated. Okay?
Amen.
I'm so serious about it. Like, I just almost want a moment of silence so that you can really feel our energy when I'm saying it's so important for you to be heard, listened to, and validated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pauline, I've had very little validation from anyone. That really is a very big part of the purpose of the Connected Empath Facebook group, is so there's a nest where all the empaths can come and rest and really just put your feet up and know that you're loved and you're good and you're right the way that you are, a place where you're heard and understood.
Totally.
And that's what it's all about. And
yeah, Mary.
Like Mary, I'm frequently not heard or validated, but I'm okay in who I am. Good work.
It's good for you to be okay with who you are, and you also deserve to be heard, listened to, and validated. So I just want to reiterate. I'll say it 100 times if I need to, just so that you can understand that you get to have a life that is joyful and connected, just like everybody else does. You're here to have it all. Okay. Okay, number 6. Now this is where I'm going to start teaching you how to have the conversation. So this is a really lighthearted, easy way to do it. And it's fun. So it can be an interesting experience. So whoever it is that you feel like you'd like to share, there's an easy way to kind of lead into it. So say you're together and you're having a conversation. You can say something like this. I'd love to do a questions and answers game. And they may be like, oh no, or okay. And it's like, come on, let's do questions and answers. You share 3 things with me about you that you think I don't know, and I'll do the same. And then you do that. And you let them go first, and then you share something lighter, and then you let them go again, and really listen and connect in with what they're saying. And gosh, I really appreciate what you're sharing about yourself. And then you share another lighthearted thing that's pretty easy to accept, and then listen to their next thing. And then on the third thing, you can say, I am an empath.
That's such a great idea.
Right?
Yes.
And most people would say, oh, I've heard of that. What is that? And that's where you can say, well, it means that I feel things in a deeper way than most of the people on the earth. In fact, it's in the last 2 decades, it's been scientifically proven that our brains work different, that we have some neurons in the brain that make us feel things deeper than other people feel. So, and then you can just start kind of lightheartedly talking about, yeah, most of my life people were like, you're just so sensitive. And I'm sure you know me. Now, if this is your spouse, you'll probably be a little more deep with the conversation, because this is, something that you do with friends. You can also do it with your spouse. Jack and I are constantly asking each other questions so we can learn about each other better. We've been together for 15 years. So I'm still learning new things about him. In fact, one of the things I just learned about Jack, this is a little off topic, is about his blushing. He always told me about it, but I never notice it, which makes me feel terrible, especially when I'm talking. I just never see his redness in his face, but he is blushing. And one day I just really embarrassed him, and we came in the house and he said that he blushed, and I was like, are you serious? Because I never blush, like, ever. And so when you're asking questions, and you can really start getting in the habit of asking questions now that you're coming to the show, and we're going to give you a couple questions every week to ask someone. So you can get in the zone of asking questions. And you know what's really awesome? With the people that you love, when you ask these questions, it's super fun, especially if you're like, tell me something that you think that I don't know about you, right? And then you share that I'm an empath. Okay. Once you do that, you can continue talking and saying, actually, there is a documentary on Netflix called Sensitive, The Untold Story.
Very good.
And it is a very good documentary, and it's done by Dr. Elaine Aron, the person that I was
actually produced by Alanis Morissette.
Yes, because Alanis Morissette is HSP, and she's probably an empath. Now, here's what's awesome.
She is an empath.
Is that Elaine Aron doesn't use the word empath. She just uses HSP, but all empaths are HSP. So it explains things in a lighter way. So it's not like empath this, empath that. It's HSP, which is that scientifically proven thing. And the documentary is freaking amazing. And it gives such clarity to what being a highly sensitive person means, that if your person wants to watch that with you, would be great. Or if they want to watch it on their own, and you can just suggest and say, if you're interested, I just really feel like this would enhance our relationship and you'd understand me better. And I'm always looking to understand you better. And it's a really light and easy way to do this, so that it doesn't come across as like, I'm an empath. I know I'm a pain and a burden, and I'm scared to tell you because I think you won't love me. It comes from a place of abundance instead of scarcity. And it's a really great way to explain it. And if you have not seen this documentary yourself, I would watch it first, just so that you have the information. It talks about the 10%. It's really great. And Alanis Morissette's in there, and she talks about highly sensitive, and you will relate to so many things in that you won't even believe it. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. And this is a great segue. Okay.
I just put the link in the thread.
Oh,
I don't know if everyone across Facebook, if you're listening outside of Connected Empath, can see it. Leona said Alanis is also Canadian. There you go.
Nice.
She's from Ottawa, just an hour away from me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is. She's a really wonderful person.
She really is.
Ella Marie, amazing. Thank you. Can't wait to watch and share the documentary. It really is a great way to share yourself too with the people.
And you know who else is an empath is Lady Gaga.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
Yeah. Many of our movie stars and singers, actors and actresses, many of our creatives in this world are HSP / empath. And it's really a beautiful thing to know that you're not alone. And number 7, the last thing to do is to set a really clear intention to attract like-minded people into your life. The universe is here to assist you. The universe has your back. And it's important that you find people that understand this way of being. All empaths understand each other. They're like, oh boy, I hear you. I know exactly what that feels like. Again, that's why we've created the Connected Empath, because all the people in that group get it. And it's a great place of support, positivity. We keep it very high vibe. And it's a great place to feel that home feeling of like, I'm not alone on this earth. Even though we're a very small minority, there are plenty of us healers out there. And it's great to find a place where you can feel good and be lifted each time you come in. And that's what happens in the Connected Empath.
Yeah, we're here to help each other.
Yes. Keanu Reeves.
Oh, yeah, all the way.
Uh-huh.
All the way.
Yeah. You know, being an empath is really a beautiful and gifted thing. but we have to learn how to manage our energy so that we feel well.
That's right.
And we've had a lot of people in our lives telling us that something's wrong with us because we're not like them. And it's kind of understandable unless they're really hateful about it. But if they can learn and understand who we actually are and that we operate differently, our brains work differently, that we're a special type of person that has a really unique way of thinking and processing information, then we will have more support and they'll be open to the gifts that we have to offer as well, instead of thinking, why are they so sensitive? Why is everything such a drama? Why do they have to go lay down all the time? Why are they crying again? My God. That's the type of thing we're talking about. So is there any questions coming up at all right now before
I haven't
we're
seen
done?
Any questions.
Okay.
But if you have a question, now is the time to pop it in. And we will get that answered.
Yeah.
Beth Midler? Probably.
Probably so.
And I don't know, who is Beth Stern?
Probably Howard Stern's wife.
Is he married?
Yes. I think I heard about. Yeah, Bev knows.
Bev's the one that wrote Beth Stern, I think. Laurie, you two are such an amazing power couple. Wow. Thank you
so much.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom and support. We're so happy to be here with you.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. Are there a lot of men that are empaths? Laurie wants to know.
Oh, there are just as many men empaths as there are women. So what do you think of that? One of the reasons we don't see as many men empaths coming out and talking about it is because they've been way more conditioned even than women to not show their feelings and emotions. So there's a lot of men empaths out there that suffer deeply because they don't think it's okay and don't even know they're an empath or highly sensitive. But that is one of those things that they're like, oh, women are typically the empaths. And actually that is a myth. Men and women equally are highly sensitive people.
Yep, and a lot of men are suffering. There's no question about that.
Big time.
We have some amazing men in the group.
We do, and I appreciate them so much. Being bold enough to stand up and say, yep, I'm a dude and I am an empath. And it really is, it gives permission to other men to do the same. And it also gives women hope that there are loving, kind, gentle, empathic men out there. It's good to know that because it's not just about us girls. It really isn't.
Jackie Lee said, I learned to compulsively eat to work around my empath feelings. Absolutely.
That is very, very common.
Mm-hmm.
Empaths use food as medicine.
Yes.
Okay. Also, alcohol is a common one. Any type of addictive behavior as an empath is quite common that it's being used as medication to manage energy.
And that's why as you begin to accept yourself more and understand your empath way, it will calm down some of that compulsive need to reach outside of yourself to find. I mean, being an empath, you're managing so much energy every day. But the first step really is accepting this as something good about you, not bad or wrong.
Yeah, this is not a curse. This is a gift.
No. And then being gracious and gentle with yourself as you're moving through the process. Make sure you get some really good downtime, get some time outside in nature, do hypnosis meditation, do things that really soothe your nervous system. That will help it be easier for you.
Absolutely.
To not reach to try to medicate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my friends, that is the show this week. We are so glad that you were here. Without you, we would have nothing to talk about.
What a great topic. We're here. We'll be back. Remember, the past life masterclass in the Connected Empath group happens this coming Saturday.
It's going to be so fun.
At 11 o'clock a.m.
Talking about that cool stuff.
Yeah, Mountain Standard Time. So if you have any questions, you can always find Tiff and I through Messenger on Facebook. We're happy and we're here to help you.
Yes.
Remember to eat dessert first.
Because life is meant to be devoured.
We love you guys.
Bye.